And now, your First Alert 5 weather.
And welcome back, everyone. On a quiet end to the weekend, such as we saw today, it's nice to kind of show off some of the most scenic vistas in our state. A few viewer photos to get through. This one from Steve Schugert. He traveled up towards Fremont Pass. This is located between Leadville and Copper Mountain. Absolutely stunning thanks to all of that snow that the mountain area has captured back in January. Even though it's been a little relatively quiet start to the month in February, the mountains will see some more snow for the upcoming week. And this, a familiar sight from Bonnie Sumner, lives up in Teller County. Took a trip down to the famed Garden of the Gods. Of course, that snowy and majestic peak in the background, that is America's mountain, Pikes Peak. Today, 61 degrees in the Springs, warmest day of the month so far. Pueblo topping out at 58 after a morning low of 14. And that not the warmest this weekend. Pueblo was actually warmer yesterday at 68. Not only the warmest of the past 5 days, but the warmest of the year so far. The Springs, fairly consistent weather-wise throughout the weekend. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures running about 15 to 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. And take a look at this orangey, almost fiery sunset tonight in Pueblo. I mentioned at the top of the newscast, if you're watching, you've maybe run outside to snap a photo between one of those commercial breaks here on News 5. Send us a photo. We would love to put it up on our 10 o'clock newscast. You can do that by emailing the weather team, weather@KOAA.com. Now, all good things must come to an end as an area of low pressure comes out of the California coast and makes a beeline towards the Four Corners region. It's going to bring in some pretty big changes for the first part of the work week with some snow generally in the mountains and some gusty winds for those of us living along and east of the interstate. First, let's talk about Futurecast and talk about the potential for some snow. You're going to notice it's fairly widespread, or I should say not fairly widespread here for those of us outside of the high country. This is not going to be a big storm for most areas. Most of the snow will fall along and west of the Continental Divide, but by tomorrow evening, can't rule out a few spotty snow showers up towards the Palmer Divide, and then some of that developing tomorrow night out across the southeastern mountains. Snow not expected to be a big impact from the storm. I think maybe up to a half an inch, possibly an inch into parts of Teller County and the Palmer Divide, maybe a light dusting on grassy surfaces into parts of Fremont County with a couple of inches possible down across the southeastern mountain ranges. Generally, again, the mountains are going to capture most of the snow, especially out towards the Elks, the northwestern part of the state. Some areas here around Steamboat could pick up 5 inches, maybe 10 inches of that fresh champagne powder. Overnight lows tonight dropping down to the 20s and 30s with a few teens in some of our colder areas. And your highs tomorrow, this is going to be the biggest noticeable development with this change. The cold front moves in early in the morning, so it'll be cold and blustery as compared to what we saw this weekend. In the Springs, snow chances pretty low, only around 20% for the mid to late afternoon hours. Highs in the 40s through Tuesday, and then we warm briefly ahead of that next storm again. That's going to be maybe a little more potent with some much stronger winds, possibly some snow showers, but I think wind's still the bigger component with gusts by Thursday morning, maybe up near 40 to 45 miles per hour. For Pueblo, just a few flurries out there blowing around on Monday afternoon. Windy late Wednesday, and then again, wind with some snow showers by Thursday. Fairly quiet, even though we've got these few fast-moving systems moving through Canyon City Monday, and then Wednesday night, Thursday morning, the most action we'll see this week. And for Woodland Park, a similar story, maybe up to a half an inch Monday. Possibly around an inch or two with that system Wednesday night into Thursday morning. But really a far cry from last week, Andy. This time we were stuck in that Polar Express, the deep freeze. It was